Hello, students, and welcome to Unit 5. We are talking about nouns, articles, and subject-verb agreement. And these, of course, are all very important things to know about. And I'm sure you have already studied this a little bit. But I wanted to go over lesson 1. We're talking about count and non-count nouns and quantity expressions. And so what I want you to do is open your book to page 116, and I'm going to read the first part of this article, and then you will need to finish reading it. But it's on naming customs. And I always find naming traditions fascinating because so many countries do it in such different ways. So let me read this for you. So, naming customs. Naming a baby is an important event throughout the world, and different cultures have their own traditions. Just a few examples can demonstrate a wide variety of customs. In Indonesia, Balinese children are named according to their birth order. Normally, every firstborn child is named Wayan or Putu, the second child Maid or Kadek, the third child Nomen or Komang, and the fourth child Ketat. The names can be given to either boys or girls, but there is a way to distinguish gender. Male names start with I, and female names start with ni. For example, I Maid is the name of a second born boy, and Ni Ketet is the name of a fourth born girl. So I find that very interesting. The article continues, and you need to read those uh, two paragraphs about naming. And then I need you to go on to page 117. And let's see how much you understood from the article. So I need you to answer questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for exercise 2. It's true or false. And make sure that you answer those and make sure that you understand. And then we're going to talk about singular and plural count nouns. So I'm going to have the video stop here for you to answer those questions. Okay, hopefully that worked out for you. And let's go to chart 5.1 on page 118, and this is on count and non-count nouns. So a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So a necklace, copier, assignment, jewelry, equipment, homework. But we put them in English into two different categories. Either you can count them, you can have 5 necklaces. That's what I'm wearing right here. So you can have 5 necklaces. You can have 10 assignments, but you can't have 5 jewelries. So my ring, I can count ring. I have a ring or I have 5 rings, but I can't count jewelry. So jewelry are both of these things, a necklace and a ring together, but I don't put a number in front of those. So homework is something that you can't talk about the homeworks that you have. You just have homework or you don't have homework. You don't put an S on that. Furniture is another word as well. You can have a table and a chair, but all the furniture in your room is one thing. You don't count those things. So I want you to finish reading the chart on this page, page 118, and it has some good rules for you. I want to point out exercise or number 5 that some nouns have both count and non-count meanings. And so you have to decide based on the context or how you're using it in the sentence, how you are using the noun. So he had a long life. So that's his one life. Or you can say life is wonderful because that's in general for everybody, life is wonderful. Okay, so you have to think about the differences there. So what I'm going to have you do in Google Forms is to do exercise 4. And for exercise 4, you're going to choose, do you put an S, an ES, or an IES? And I will use this chart again to help you to decide when you put S or IES and think about spelling rules. I'm pretty sure there's a chart in the back of your book, and I will post that in the assignment to give you some help with that. And then you're also going to do exercise 6, and this is count and non-count nouns, but articles. So when do you use the a article, the an article, or no article? And again, I think there's a chart in the back of your book, or I'll link to something for you to look at to help, but you have to decide, like the example for light. So when I was a child, I always slept with a light on. So we're talking about a specific thing. So that's why you need to use the article. But B, my house was filled with light every morning when the sun came up. We're not talking about a light fixture like a lamp. Sorry, it's over there, like a lamp behind me, but we are talking about light in general. Okay, and so you want to be careful with that. So I will have this in Google Forms as well, that first part. And then on the next page, there is another chart on quantity expression. So when we're using words like any, no, all, a lot of. So when do you use those? And some work with count nouns and some work with non-count nouns. Some work with both of them. But you have to think through when you are using them. So any or no, you can use anytime with count nouns, singular count nouns, plural count nouns, or non-count nouns. And if you remember, singular means one, plural means two, so more than one. But the rest of the chart, there are different times that you can use these and they're not always the same. So you want to make sure and look through that. And again, read through these different rules because it separates them. When do you use a few and when do you use a little? And then exercise 7 will also be in the Google form, and you will have to choose between those two. So this can be a little confusing, but I want you to work on this because as you get more into your Hesston College classes and your other classes, you will need to pay attention to these little rules that actually can make a big difference for some professors. So it's good to pay attention to these, even though I know that they are not the easiest to always understand. But if you have questions, we can talk about it when we meet. And if you need any more help, I can give you some additional exercises to work on with that. So again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.